So I was really just about to go to bed, but it occurred to me that we haven't really talked about what exactly this surgery is going to do and how it's really actually going to change my face and change what I look like. Probably the question that I have been asked the most, or kind of just the statement I've heard as I've told people that I'm having this double jaw surgery, is like, oh my God, your face is gonna change. And yes, that is true. The shape of my face and what I look like is definitely going to change. It's a little scary, I guess, to think about. Am I gonna be a different person? Is that gonna be weird? Is that gonna be an adjustment? I actually think that even if somebody hadn't seen me in a really long time and then they see me after this surgery, that they're gonna be like, what is different? Because I do think it's gonna be a pretty big change. I obviously am not a jaw surgeon, so I don't know how accurate my description of this is going to be, but my understanding of it is that it goes something like this. They make an incision in the jawbone on both sides, top or bottom, and then they reposition it to where they want it to be, and then they use titanium plates and screws to hold it in place. So for me, because my jaw has kind of grown down and more narrow, what they're going to do is my lower jaw will come forward and my upper jaw will come forward and down. So as you can see, I have an open bite, which means that my front teeth don't overlap. So bringing the upper jaw forward and down and the lower jaw forward will allow the occlusion to come together correctly and for my teeth to overlap and, for everything to be in its proper position. What we haven't still talked about is, what does this mean for what I look like? So obviously I don't know what the outcome really will be. We'll have to wait and see. I have looked at the results of a lot of other people that have done this surgery, in particular cases that are really similar to mine, and how their face has changed. And it is quite interesting. Would not be doing this surgery if it was just for aesthetic reasons. If that was my only reason for doing it, I would not put myself through this. My primary goal is to restore function to my bite and to my jaw, and obviously, as I have talked about, to hopefully address some of these bigger health issues. But I'm not gonna lie that having some of the aesthetic side effects of this surgery is kind of intriguing and kind of exciting. So I am really interested to see kind of how that changes. One of the diagnoses from the consultation I had with a surgeon is what they call long face syndrome. And so clearly part of the outcome of this procedure will be to sort of correct that, what I guess they would refer to as an imbalance in facial features, where the face is longer than maybe would be considered ideal, or in terms of function of the jaw and whatnot, considered appropriate, I guess maybe is the word I'm looking for. So that will definitely change. I think what will be noticeable, or what I noticed in other people's photos of their before and after that had similar thing, is it really kind of changed the way their eyes looked. So I feel like I always kind of have this tired look, which maybe it's just because I am actually feeling tired a lot of the time, but kind of that sort of, when the face sort of pulls down, it sort of creates these bigger dark circles under my eyes. And what I noticed in these before and after pictures was what a difference it made. People just looked brighter, they looked more energized and just kind of happier or something. And it wasn't even if they were smiling or not, it didn't matter. They were just, the way that their facial shape changed made a really big impact on just kind of how healthy they looked in a way. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I'm also really curious to see, I don't know yet if like when I'm actually in Spain to have the surgery or doing like my pre-op stuff, like if they will show me digitally what that looks like, because they do map out this surgery digitally. Oh my God, say that 3 times fast. So that they really know exactly where they're going to be moving everything. And so they have like all this 3D imaging of that. And I don't know if that means that they also kind of like show me what the expected outcome is or not. That's something I'm definitely excited and curious about. It's not like ultimately why I'm doing this, but I kind of consider it like sort of a cool bonus, I guess. Like if I'm gonna go through this, might as well get some, nice facial features out of it too. So I am really excited to see how that all turns out. And I kind of feel like I'm gonna almost feel more like myself, to be honest. I don't know how to explain that other than I just feel like I have this sort of like internal vision of myself, and whenever I see myself in pictures, it doesn't quite match up. So I sort of feel like after this surgery, it's going to be like my outward appearance matches more what I feel on the inside, if that makes sense. So we'll see what happens. That is definitely going to be a big part of this process, and maybe kind of the most interesting piece is to see how that all plays out when all is said and done and the recovery process is really over.